So one more quick thing I need to point out before I forget it altogether. It's an important nuance about all of these civilian snitches who are police agents or federal agents but don't actually get paid from any federal, state, county, or city treasury. They get whatever kickbacks they get. I pressed the buttons of so many of them, like Bill Kinnear and Vet Mike and Vet Glenn, and I even got Bill Kinnear on camera, and he's on camera on the security video, approaching Mayor Weinberger in a panic because I'm video recording him. Weinberger was outside in City Hall Park getting ready to do an interview about a shooting across the street at that catty corner gas station that they call Murder Mart. So I'm video recording Bill Kinnear with my big camera, and he runs up, and of course I didn't have Kinnear in the frame, but I was focused in on the mayor, and Kinnear walks, within 10 feet of him or whatever, and the mayor's basically ignoring him, kind of signaling to him, "Get the hell away from me, she's filming, you idiot, you're implicating me." So we have that. Then we have Vet Glenn bragging about having served under Caspar Weinberger and having known Miro since he was a kid. Then we have Vet Mike and Trey Parker and all these people clearly connected and being handled by Kevin Pounds and Heather Bush and whoever. And then they turned out Toby as a snitch and gave him a job with the Parks Department. Then you have Ranger Preston acting a fool and his friend Janelle. So now I met Becky long before all of that, but I think they started having them. Now, please understand that these bad actors for Virginia Piper and the Weinbergers had their people dropping Bernie Sanders' names and going to rallies long before I ever got to New York. This goes all the way back to when he was campaigning in 2015 for the 2016 election. Tara Marshall in Arizona, who was the Cross Disability Advisory Board member for Phoenix PD, who invited me to live in her home so she could handle me. And the domestic violence victim tampering investigator for Columbia Police Department, Katie Holliston Smith, was all, said she went to Bernie rallies. And I'm sure they really did like Bernie Sanders. That doesn't mean that they weren't helping people that were against his interests. So it didn't start here in Vermont. That's why anybody who was out dropping Bernie's name, I knew damn well, or anybody in Bernie's progressive caucus was going to be telling. And I even put that on my social media. I'm like, if you're getting in my face pretending to be my friend and you're dropping Bernie's name or any other progressive's name, you're telling on yourself. But specifically here, you have the first batch that are bragging, that I got to basically brag about working for the police and Homeland Security and the Weinbergers and the Goldwaters and Cuomo and Trump and whatever. Now they got to have Becky Burrow and her crew come in and lie and say, "Oh yeah, Bill Kinnear's a stalker, and oh, he's stalking me, but he's not a cop. He's not affiliated with the police. He's just So she's basically admitting he's stalking and he's a predator, but she was there to distance all of them from BPD and DHS and Epstein's partners in crime. And I wasn't sure if I made that clear, because I kind of gave mixed messages. Oh, they're bragging about working for the police. Oh, they're bragging about working for the progressives. There's a mixture of both. And I think that's all I really need to get into here. And in doing all that, they ultimately snitched themselves out, snitched at Judge Hoare. They admitted that he's an abusive person that grants restraining orders. That they basically implicated the people, but tried to make it look like they weren't working for Judge Hoare. Oh no, we work for Sarah George and Bernie Sanders, whatever. And that also was probably to, when they do their stupid crap and lie to me and they get caught, I'm automatically thinking that Bernie and Sarah Georgia and Mulvaney Stanek are corrupt and thus I won't help them anymore. And I had to let them think that because they ultimately brought in a snitch to set Bernie's office on fire with his staff in there. And you have no idea what it's like to feel responsible for something like that. And responsible for 3 deaths. That includes Michaela Raines from Save a Fox. No more. No more. No more collateral damage because I don't have victims advocates on the record. Because as long as they think I don't have actual victims advocates, and there's no investigation, they're going to keep escalating and escalating and escalating. And they're going to end up killing you all. Because they're kind of setting you, also what they're doing is setting you up for a political coup based on what I heard from Kyle Kulinski, though I'm sure he's undercover too. I have no doubt that all of you are just pretending to go along with this to see where it goes. And I went ahead and did call Sarah Georgia's office today to get it on the record because after I went up to the mayor's office and she had her staff refer me to that person, some person in particular at Community Justice Center, and then that person basically lied and said they couldn't help me. Oh, but, just keep me in mind if you need anything, even though I'm not going to help you. And the person before her was like, oh no, why do you got to contact the mayor again? Don't do that. Just take me at my word. Don't let her know we're not doing our job, And then I made sure I called right there from the lobby at the mayor's office. And then once I was off the call and they got and state police and Cousy and Hochul's feds and whoever got all that on the record, this lady not doing her job and then lying about Judge Hoare being retired and he's not on the bench and whatever. Then I went up and said, okay, this person isn't doing their job, thinking, are you going to make another referral? Do you need me to call and get anybody else to lie to me so you guys can hear them not doing their job in real time? And oh, no. So that means they've apparently got everybody they need. I'm guessing that today's debacle, along with that bullshit with the restraining order by Alan Caton, was all they needed to really nail all these people to the wall. So I think that signals to me you got everybody you need. You got enough at this point to go ahead and get me victim services and establish secure communication and do whatever you need to do and go ahead and signal to Epstein's partners in crime everywhere that the game is up. You're not buying their bullshit anymore, and you know what's what. You know what they're doing. You know they're lying to Sarah George so she doesn't realize that they're committing Brady violations and lying about why they're not filing charges, especially with this crap about, oh, she's just schizophrenic and she's an addict. Really? So, oh good, there is another bus going by. I done missed my missed my North Avenue bus, so I get to walk 3 miles back to camp in this crap. With very little sleep because I woke up at the ass crack of dawn this morning. I don't think I got to sleep till about 4 or 5 a.m. and they rattled me awake at 11 o'clock, 10:30, something like that. So I only got about 5-6 hours of sleep. So I should sleep good tonight. And then I'll get the actual email. I may type it up tonight. I don't think so. It's going to be so cold in that tent. It's going to be too cold. My fingers freeze, and it just takes too long to type stuff up with one finger. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is I need to charge my larger power bank. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to go out to McDonald's in Essex, where there's not going to be too much fuckery, and take my laptop out there. And while my bigger bank is charging, I'll eat, be warm. I can type it up, CC it to everybody it needs to go to, and since I've talked about it here and got most of it on a video, I'm not going to worry too much about going into a whole lot of detail when I'm typing it up. I can paraphrase and just make relatively vague allegations and then link these videos so you guys can go in and watch the videos at your leisure. And I'm not working on it for 6 or 8 hours. It took me about 8 hours to type up the one for the SEC that got Buffalo City Hall rated. Now it would be 16 or 20 hours, and there's no point in me going through all of that detail all over again, and even my savant brain pulls up so much information all at once, I forget what I've already discussed and what I haven't. And that way, the victims' advocates can sit down with me and go over each point by point and clarify. And they can figure out who amongst these civilians deserve leniency, and many of them don't. Autumn and Becky Burrell, they doubled down, and I went after them for every direction, and they were very committed to what they were doing. Though Autumn's 26, that's still going to be up to you to decide if she can get counseling, and I'm sure she was doing it under the influence of her parents. Her parents may need to be the ones to do the real time, and then she gets leniency in exchange for rolling on them. But we can go over all of that, when it's time for me to do a victim's impact statement. But the actual licensed peace officers and adults and military personnel who damn well knew better. See, in Missouri and Arizona and Florida, there weren't really any safe places to go. But in New York and Vermont, there's enough progressives in power. There's no excuse for these people to not file their own whistleblower sealed lawsuits and come forward and cooperate. And it's not like there ain't enough money to go around. They've been stealing billions of dollars a year for decades. That's trillions of dollars. Even 10% of $1 trillion is a lot of money. That's more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime. So when you're not doing that, and instead you're gaslighting and threatening me, that tells me you're pretty guilty. But anyway, we'll sort out that later. Thank you for your help. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you, and I'll continue to do that, but we really need to cut the bullshit and get secure comms and whatever victim services because of this cold weather and cancer. Thank you.